So here are some quadratics with a values greater than 1. So we're trying to complete the square. So the process is the same. We just have to think about one extra thing when we're doing this. So a value being 2, what I want to do is take this out to the front. I want to factor it out of the first two terms. So we have now x squared plus 2x. And we're going to put it inside parentheses, leave a gap, and then the plus 1 goes on the end. So now what we're doing is we're looking inside the parentheses to complete the square. So we're doing the same thing. We're taking half of b, which is 1, and then we're squaring it. And we get 1. So we are adding on a 1 inside. Actually, I'm going to change that to Alright, so now that we've added 1 inside parentheses, we have to look at what is really going on here. We can't just subtract 1 from the outside, because if I were to distribute the 2 back in, we would end up with the 2x squared plus 4x, but we would end up with a new plus 2. So what we have to do is subtract 2. Okay, so that comes from 2 times 1. So we have to multiply our new number by whatever's on the outside and then subtract it on the end. So now we can complete the process just like we did for a values equal to 1. So we factor this out, factor whatever's inside parentheses. So we know that that is going to be x plus 1. The 2 out front is our a value, okay, in vertex form. And then 1 minus 2 would be a negative 1. So this is an equation in vertex form. Alright, so one more example. It's a little trickier one. So 3x squared minus 4x plus 5. So we have a value of 3 from the standard form. So we have to factor that out. So we have x squared. And then factoring out a 3 out of here would be, that'd result in a 4/3 x. Because we're, remember, factoring is dividing. So plus 5 goes on the end. Alright. So now we think about half of b. So half of 4/3. Well, if you remember your fractions, all you're going to do is take the bottom and double it. So the denominator doubles. So we have 4/6 or 2/3. So 2/3 is our half of b, and then we're going to square it. So 2/3 squared would be 4/9. So we're adding on a 4/9 inside. Okay. And now we have to think about what we are subtracting from the end. So we're subtracting, so 3 times 4/9. That would end up being 4/3. Okay, because if we multiplied, we'd get 12 over 9, which reduces to 4/3. Now let's clean this up. So factor this out. So we know that our binomial squared is just x, and then half of b. So minus 2/3. 3 still up front. And now we have to do this subtraction. So 5 minus 4/3. So we'd have to turn this into 15/3 minus 4/3 would be 11/3. And that's our vertex form. So if you have any questions, let me know.